All right.
Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's episode, where we are going to be talking about whatever
Tonight's episode of
ChatGPT prompted for us.
Wait, you got my mic on this time?
Yeah,
We're hot mic. All right, all
yeah,
right.
I think we're good on that.
Nice.
Um, so whatever we decide to talk about, uh, hopefully it leads you to that next point of inspiration. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Before we
talking
jump
about.
in, though, we want to thank everybody who puts in the time to make this what it is, make Mortal Woes what it is.
Mhm.
Also, this song is a little bit too much for me at the moment. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, get vibing, man. Get vibing.
I'd also like to thank Artlist.io for providing me with all this sweet music and
As
sounds that I
over
use in my own games and on the show,
as overwhelming as it may be at times.
as overwhelming as it may be.
Let's see. Come on, camera. You can do it.
Um, so, that being said, let's go ahead and get
There we
started.
go. All right.
Justin, do you have the talking points pulled up on for yourself?
Don't do it. I don't have it.
You
Don't do it,
don't? Oh
Justin.
my
Don't
gosh.
don't
What's
do it,
going on
Justin.
here? What's going on here?
Well, I think okay. So I'm gonna say this as I pull them up. What's going on is it's been a busy week.
It has been a
It's
busy week.
it's been a busy week. I mean, um, it's just 7 days ago, or so, my wedding anniversary. So I had that going on, and I mean, obviously taking time out of my online life to do like real life stuff. Like have quality time. Then um and then we've been working on launching that new project. So we're buttoning everything up, getting everything straight for that. I mean, we've been pushing for affiliate, which we achieved.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a busy week. We've just
Yeah.
been really kind of a whole lot of irons in the fire, and we've been tending to them. So I think that's kind of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you know, th- I think point of inspiration is always meant to be like us vibing, and chilling and just talking about what we love about the game and the game space and the people that we play with. And I think, I wasn't treating it so much as like a project and more of
Like
like
me.
but yeah. Well, I mean, that's the great thing.
It's like, yeah, I
That's just
wasn't
how you
treating it
do.
like Spio does. Like he treats everything.
Hey, man, and that's how you like, that's where you get your enjoyment from it. I'm hoping, you enjoy it like that. And I was like, man, I'm gonna do point of inspiration this week and just vibe, man. Just spend some time with with you, because the whole reason we started this was just because we like playing games together. We just like kicking it. We even played a video game together for just the sheer fact of just playing games this week. That was fun. Played a really bad video game.
Well, really bad now. But let's just
Yeah.
say that the Baldur's Gate series and the Champions series were
Oh, champs.
the best games back in the
Champs,
day.
man. Oh, I love Champions of North. I mean, that was really what brought us together. We hours and hours of playing champs. And I actually, that goes into a lot of the games that I play, like the games that I run is champs. I really like the the whole system of finding things and not know, like they could be anything, and they could be bad and good. And finding bad things is just as cool as finding good things, because you get to sort through them, and you get to maybe they go into a weird build that you never thought, like, oh, look at these cool mechanics.
I'm still waiting for you to incorporate like this half naked female mage that says, "Will you lend us your heart, your hand, and your sword.
I like right after that you have well, that was the 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
That
was
was the second
Return to
one.
Arms.
That was Return to Arms. In the first one, right after you get, you go up to the Elven, you're in the Elven like the Wood Elf city, and they're like,
Telethon.
please, Telethon, and please help us. And you go down, and you get to this you get to this elevator, and the guy's like, halt! it's the funniest voice acting.
Well, that's not all that he
Halt!
says. There's like an entire paragraph that's always skipped.
Yeah,
Besides
and
maybe,
you
yeah.
skip that. Yeah, you just wait for him
Mhm.
to say halt,
Yeah,
and then you
that's
go,
it. Like,
you
all right,
skip
guys,
it
we're
and go
good.
down.
We're good. Let's go.
And that also, so like whenever you see guys, me bring in these NPCs that are just dweebs, and that are they're like made to be dunked on by the NPCs. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, the first game and one shot that I ever ran was based off of a mission and a place within that game, which was the Mammoth Ant Hills. And
Oh yeah,
I can't remember if his
remember.
name was Babak Nern or if that was somebody you were trying to help later to get to somewhere else, to like
Yeah,
the
you were like,
Underdark or
I
the
think
Underworld.
Babbitt was stuck there or something, or he made the machine like that could drive over the lava or something.
Yeah.
I actually really
Babak
don't know. Like,
Nern.
yeah, I just know that on my copy of the game disc, but he would always glitch because I guess it was scratched in just the right spot, so he would always get stuck.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I remember is, you come out and it's, woo! Oh, I haven't seen a mammoth ant in hours.
Yeah. Absolutely great.
That was
Oh
like
my
one of
goodness.
the moments you definitely listen to when playing that game. But,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that game was so good. And we'd spend hours making characters too. Like that was the fun thing. Even though there wasn't a whole lot to the character builds
yeah,
or
there's
whatever.
a lot of customization options. It was mainly just the name, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Like that,
oh yeah.
That's it. Really, it's just the name.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Min-maxing or
what
something.
kind of meme
Yeah.
do I want to be this campaign?
It was a blast, man. Absolute blast.
Yeah, I always liked that game too because I played EverQuest on console, which, I mean, I think the more popular version, of course, is PC, but they did have a console version, and I grew up playing that, and, it's like the game's based in the EverQuest world, so that's why I know the name of the Wood Elf City and some of the deities, Inaruk, God of Hate, I believe, if I remember correctly. God of Fears, Khazad-dûm, God of well, let's not dive in EverQuest.
But it's great. See, I think you are one of those gamers that, like, it's one of the things that you love about games is the names of the places and the names of the people, and they, like, you latch onto that, you like that, and I was never like that. I'm not one of those gamers that, like, the name of the town isn't what does it for me. It's the aesthetic and the feel of the place that really makes me like that's what I cling to. I'm bad with names, so I have a like, that could be one of the reasons why, I have a poor working memory in that regard.
Yeah, I'm that weird person that remembers names of cartoon characters from, like, our childhood. Like, who's the guy? I think most recent one was a Hey Arnold question, when somebody's wanting to know who the guy with the glasses that always comes up behind Helga when she's, like, professing her love in a secret manner, and he's always, like, breathing over his shoulder.
Yeah, it would start with an E or something like that.
Is Brainy.
Oh wow, see, no, I didn't even think of that. Didn't even know. Yeah, he was always breathing heavy, like deviated septum. Yeah. Yeah,
And then
my yeah. I
so
remember the
violent.
episode of yes, it was. I remember the episode where Arnold almost gets beat up, and it's like, uh, oh my god, what was it? What was that song? Like I'm crazy or something like that. Uh,
I don't know about the song.
and it was this episode where they were like he was gonna get beat up, you know, and it was like meet me in the alley at this time or whatever. And he's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And whenever he gets there, he just like sings this song about being crazy, being like
Mm.
weird and crazy. And they're like, we don't want to fight you. You scare us. Like we don't
You're a
like we would
psycho.
beat you up if yeah, if you were a regular kid, we'd beat you up. But
Doesn't
since
mean
you're
as
not,
much.
happy Love Day, guys. Oh, hey, yeah. Love the intro. You guys are the beast. Thanks, Zero.
All right.
We're a special kind of energy. I'll tell you that.
Do you have on hand a D8?
I do have on hand a D8. Um, oh, and then as soon as I open my drawer, it like takes the thing to where my
Your
camera
camera
fucking
exploded.
explodes. It's okay. What it is, it's the adapter. I need a better adapter. Are we gonna do it? Is it gonna work? You gonna work today? You wanna help me out?
Is it going to work?
I have the. Come on, you can do it, baby. Come on. Uh-oh. And then the mount like almost slips off the top of my thing.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah, right. All right. And then my D8's not even in my desk.
Speaking of which, I don't know how Evan said that he set up the ads or whatever.
I have
So
no clue, yeah.
I didn't do anything, so I apologize if ads come up, guys, tonight.
I apologize. Yeah, because
we'll get it
especially in the middle of us saying some shit.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a great moment that everyone needs to hear. And
oh yeah, for sure.
The ad played when I got in. Okay. Well.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right at the beginning. I think it's right at the beginning, is what he was saying.
Okay. Well, that's good. The best advice ever given. People pay for this kind of stuff. You're not gonna want to miss it.
Yeah.
So.
And
whoosh.
Did it come in and come out? Come on, camera. Be kind. All right, you go ahead and do the thing while I futz with this.
Night Fury. Please pick a number between 1 and 8 for us, if you wouldn't mind. Have a little audience participation here.
There we go.
Unless you want to roll the dice, that's fine too. 5. Okay. So, our first talking point is going to be DM tips. Focus on tips and tricks for dungeon masters to improve their storytelling and game management skills. Discuss pacing, improvisation, creating engaging quests, and managing player expectations. Solid. I feel like we have talked about some of this stuff before, but focus on tips and tricks to improve their storytelling and game management skills. Storytelling. I literally just look up YouTube videos on how to be a better storyteller. I look up those old charts from grade school where it's like, different elements of a story. There's the beginning, there's the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. I remember looking at those not too long ago just to look at different elements. And then there's also different things regarding what kind of story it is. There's different types of stories, different genres have different elements. I guess you could categorize them all into that chart, but I feel like, if you break it down farther, I guess reading also would be a great way to be good at storytelling, is reading great stories. I was actually talking to my dad about this not too long ago, and he's a big Tolkien fan, and we started watching The Witcher together last weekend, and he mentioned that, there's always all the chat rooms where the people are like, oh, they stole this from this or they stole this from that. Well, he was saying that there's a lot of things like that even Tolkien had taken, and I guess The Witcher is from a book. Hold on, I have to look it up. Some of you may know this, because I think they actually call him the White Wolf. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? The Elric Saga? Is anybody familiar with the Elric Saga?
I am not familiar with the Elric Saga.
Well, I'm definitely interested in reading it. So,
I think, okay, well,
I can't even read the name, so that's probably something I need to help.
Uh-oh. No, stop being temperamental.
Well, it is a great start tonight, guys. Here you go, Zero. This is what you have to look forward to for production value on Wednesday.
This is not it. No, I swear. Let's see.
Yeah, this is the chill stream, so.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who also wants to do this, like, guess what? Technical difficulties come with it, and we're regular people. Like, if anything, this just tells you that we're regular people who are just here to have fun, and we're not like this isn't unattainable. This isn't like we are not like gods amongst men or something. We're regular folk who make mistakes and have cameras that like mess up sometimes, you know? Do I just move over to my junk camera? You think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what I would just always use if I knew that it worked.
All right, well, let's see.
But that's just me.
There we go. There we go.
See, that's the junk camera. It looks just fine.
Uh-huh. This one's awful. All right, there's this camera instead.
Hey, other camera, Justin.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Yeah, so we're not going to use my super awesome DSLR camera because the link cable's being bad. If anybody remembers Game Boy and having a bad link cable.
No trading for you.
I know, dude. DC in the middle of a tournament on the school bus. All right. So so tips for being a DM.
Tips to help improve storytelling.
Mm-hmm. So I think that we have gone over this, and I think that one of the things, I was just listening to something the other day, and it's bring like real world into your fantasy world, because that is what's going to make it seamless with when something wild happens. Somebody like casts a spell and you're like, yeah, it's magic. But if they cast a spell and you want it to feel heavy, or you want it to feel like that's how the whole world is, you make it regular, right? And so there's this game that I learned from a master storyteller, and it's called Best Worst First Last, right? And so you think of the best, worst, first, or last time that you experienced something, right? and you tell that story. So if we go ahead and just pick something, let's say we'll say a bus ride, best first, worst last bus ride. Just pick one of those four: the best bus ride, the worst one, the first one, or the last one that you had. And there's a story there with one of those four. See?
Oh, that's for me. You want me
Yeah,
to
for you.
tell you about a bus
yeah.
ride?
That best worst first last. Using that parameter, best worst first last.
Last bus ride.
Okay.
January 2022. We took
Oh shit.
the bus shuttle at Disney World to go to one of the parks from a hotel.
Okay. And what was the story there? What was like something that happened that was noteworthy?
That was it.
That was it. Oh, okay. So
I
you're
don't.
missing.
I don't have like a lot of. I don't put a lot of value on like bus rides or have any memorable moments. Or...
Here's the thing about that. Okay, so I'll do best worst first last, or I'll do last bus ride I took. So the last bus ride that I took was actually in Cozumel, Mexico, and we were heading out to Chichen Itza, and there was the way that the roads were constructed. It's like they were just being built, and it was through a like wilderness, across these vast areas. And as we were driving, we were late, right? So like the people like getting there, we were late the second we got on the bus, right? And you could tell because all of the tour guides were like, come. Yes, we're gonna have a great time today. And they like leaned over the bus driver, and it's like, all right. He like put his hand on his shoulder, and he gave him that look and that nod, right? And the dude's taken off. I mean, we're like driving around people on motorcycles and through the streets and booking it, right? We're booking it because all the shit that they had packed in for the day was the bus ride was took up the majority of it, and if there was any delay, we'd lose out. So we're like cooking, dude. And the whole time somebody like he would be like somebody like go to look out the window, and he'd be like, now what do I have here in my hand? Now this is a Mayan artifact. And he would like draw everybody's attention in, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye we were like fucking dodging shit. Like we were like flying through like active construction zones. Shoo! And it'd be like, now can anybody tell me? Yes, take a look. And it was awesome.
As people are throwing up out of the windows and
yeah, no, well, he was trying to he was just like, hey guys, don't freak out. Nobody look, because you might freak out. And it's like, we're gonna get there, don't you worry.
This isn't exactly street legal, but
yeah, but you paid for it, and we're
hang
gonna
on
give
tight.
it to you.
We're gonna get you there. We didn't say how.
And so that was the last time we rode a bus. It was awesome. Absolutely loved it. Made a mistake. Sat in the back of the bus by the bathroom. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sit in the middle or the front of the bus. Don't be one of the. Yeah.
I guess
on the bigger ones.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, it's on the bigger ones.
Like RVs and things, but
yeah, they have them on like Greyhounds. If you've ever been on a Greyhound.
Have not.
One of the best bus rides was a Greyhound bus ride that I took, and I met a magician at one of the stops. So it like goes and it stops, and then it goes and it stops. And I met met a magician there, and this was before I started learning magic. And I could tell he was a magician because he wore a ring like on his fingers, right? On weird fingers, right? And not on the typical ones. And that's how you can tell if somebody practices sleight of hand, is they'll wear these rings on their fingers. One, because there's ring magic that you can perform, but two, because it draws a lot of attention. It's heavy, it's this big kind of heavy note. And I asked him, I said, why do magicians always wear rings on their fingers? And he says, well, when you know, you know. And there's also a little bit more to it than that, but I won't tell you guys unless you decide to get into it, and then we can talk about it. But it's so I met a magician once. Now, the way that I would take both of those wonderful, exciting kind of the things that I understand about the real world when I was riding the bus, move it into a game is, for one, the carriage ride where they're always distracting you from the terrible things that are going on around. Hilarious. You're gonna have characters with passive perception who's high enough to notice what they're doing, and you're gonna have characters with passive perception who are not. And so the ones that aren't, they can play into the funny bit of it, of where they're oblivious to what's going on. And then the ones that are can kind of like vibe with it as well, right? So you could tell that little story, and it's kind of funny and exciting. And with the magician thing, meeting somebody in a weird location, you have a little bit of downtime. There's some people out around. You're at a bar, or you're at a tavern, or you're at, like, you guys went out to get something to eat in the game, and you notice somebody else who's wearing regalia or an emblem that isn't like of the Assassin's Guild, or that's not of like the some crazy like druidic secret circle, but rather pick a background that the players have, like maybe they're a cobbler, or maybe they're a carpenter or something, and they're wearing something that signifies them as somebody who is also has the same interest, and only that character knows, and they get to kind of have a little bit of one-on-one with them, right? And
A member of the Shoemakers Guild.
yeah,
Okay.
right, yeah, and that would be fun. I mean, that's kind of that's what I would do. Take those uh real world moments from memorable times in your life, and just proxy take that person that you talk to and just fucking slap him in the game. Whatever you remember about him, just paste him right in your game. So that's what I was asking. Like, so when you're on the Disney bus ride, you had to have noticed something that stood out about it, something that bothered you, something you thought was unique. Maybe the floor was sticky. Like, there was something about it that you could put into your game that stood out to you. Was it the smell? I'm sure that it didn't smell great.
No, that's the only part of the memory.
That it didn't smell
To
great?
be no, I just remember getting on a bus. Yeah,
Just need
that
to
doesn't
look
that
around a
doesn't
little
that
bit.
doesn't work for me, I guess. I'm
So I
more about what I'm familiar with, I guess, and not, I guess, maybe random moments. Because it has to be a very, like, either stressful or extremely significant to where something happens to where I would remember something like that. I think most of my current storytelling stuff comes from mostly just what I watch, I guess, because I need to get into reading, and that's something that I have on my to-do list. But
I think it's on every American's fucking to-do list at some point,
um,
bro. Like,
well, it's different for me
hard.
because I'm like, and have always been like anti-reading. It's not for me. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, the books are better. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they are, because the books have so much more detail. Like, for example, like Harry Potter. Everybody always says the books are way better. I'm sure they are. But I love, like, the visual magic, right?
Mhm.
I like seeing the movies.
Well, not everybody has the same imagination too. Like, I know, like, Night Fury, she has what's called aphantasia. So she has no, like, imagination. No visual imagination. So whenever she reads a fantasy book, it's just a bunch of words. It's always words. It's never more than that. So, not ever, it's okay if you don't like to read, if that doesn't resonate with you. That's just not where you get your inspiration, I mean,
Yeah. So, I don't know if that will actually help me or not, but I would like to try it, I guess. Um, but I guess
I,
mostly for me, for like improving my storytelling, is just trying to describe the scenes better, which we've kind of gone over, like how to describe different sensory details a little bit better, um, just to kind of improve that sort of immersion in your scenes. Um, because I mean, even if you don't have like a whole story arc or like some sort of huge setup for your players or quest lines or anything like that, if you can down at the table and be able to describe a scene or whatever your players are doing in a way that they feel like they're there, they're they're gonna have a good time.
yeah,
And
and I
even
think
if
the
you,
best way,
yeah,
the verisimilitude is the idea, right? So as long suspension of disbelief, so we all agree that we're going to believe, but then you also, by making it just regular, by making it as regular as you can before slapping that fantastic on it, that really helps, like a trip to the grocery. Next time you go to the grocery, just kind of pick some things out, just notice the world around you, just pick some things out, and then um, go, when you're playing your game, they're out shopping, and you're like, describe the people that you noticed. It's a little old lady who, just is a little bit past the time of like being, she can barely walk a little bit. She's going real slow and everything, and she, hard of hearing, hard to see, and maybe she's just a little flatulent, and she doesn't realize that it's, and you're like, wow, well, I was gonna go down that aisle, but I guess I'll
or she
I'll go
does
over
real
here and
life.
buy stuff. It happens, it happens. I had a very funny thing happen, but well, we won't talk about it. I'll leave that for a different time. Um,
We
I'd
can
say
go a little
looks
bit.
like
Oh, good.
I was gonna say Night Fury said something.
Oh, it's still a story, but probably not as fun. I think she's
Well, she said
referring to not being able
best,
to. Oh,
right? Well, she said
BWFL.
best, worst, first, last of D&D encounter as a player. I think
Hmm.
that's a good question. Ethan, what's best, worst, first, last encounter as a player?
Mm. Um, Probably not for you guys, but for me, uh, I specifically remember um, our first game together whenever I was playing Oleron, and
Mm-hmm.
we were in a cave, and Night Fury's character, Alexandria, likes to look up at the stars to prepare her spells for the day. Like, wakes up early in the morning, I believe. Um, and so we were in a place where we couldn't see the stars. So we were like up against this cave wall, waiting for some time to go by so we could rest. And I used prestidigitation to. Now I don't know if you can actually, you know, do this or not, but it's more like the rule of cool. I kind of just use prestidigitation to kind of like paint a starry sky on like the cave ceiling. Um, and me personally, I was just like, that was kind of like a cool connection in my own head between our characters. But
And I
I don't know
think
if
that
anybody
was
else saw like that, but I was like, it's like that's pretty cool. It's like I'm glad I thought of that.
I definitely did, and I think that was right around the time me and you had been talking about like the kind of power you have as a player as well. Because it was a new group, and it was like I gave you guys a full sandbox, and you were like, "What?" and which is, it's kind of the nature of the beast at first, but like, uh, you it's starting to get to that point where you're like, what, I would like to do a lot more. And I was like, yeah, building relationships with other players, telling the stories with the other players, bringing them in, because I noticed you had started to get it right a little bit faster. You were one of the first of that group to really kind of pick up on that. And I was like, bring them in, start bringing people in with you when you're telling these scenes, and then they can go on for the whole session. It could just be the players having a scene the whole session. And that was like, I think it was like that next session, you were like, you hit it with that, and I was like, yeah. And also the skull. You also did the skull, which was really funny too. You tried to trick them to, like picked up a skull, yeah. and and it was to like make your character, like to show you were like, my character's a little bit of a goof, and but that was like right after that you started really like using like prestidigitation and the world and like various elements of the world to start telling Oleron's story rather than being a video game character or like just reacting. And that was a magical moment for me too. I was like, yeah, this is. I even think that like I liked it so much I had Alexandria's god come to her through that Starry Night, didn't I? Or was that later?
I do not remember.
I don't remember. It may have been later. Maybe later, but I was vibing on it too, I was like, hell yeah.
My current thoughts is, why can you not upcast?
Prestidigitation?
I guess you just say like, oh, I just cast it so many times, but I'm gonna create a prestidigitation that requires a spell slot.
Yeah, let's see. I'm moving my camera so I can read.
What?
I didn't hear. I'm sorry I didn't heal you, she says. I don't know what happened, but
wait, what?
Night Fury just says, I'm sorry I didn't heal you. I don't know what. I don't know, man. She remembers. She remembers. Yeah.
Well,
that's very funny.
Night Fury, whenever you run your first game.
Oh yeah.
Please go ahead and use that for. I'm sorry I didn't heal you. That'll be the opening scene.
Yeah, all just straight blackness. You and all you hear is, I'm sorry I didn't heal you.
I didn't heal you.
No. Oh no. What an opening. What do you do?
Alright. The cave spiders, oh. I mean, I made it. I survived it. Somebody healed me. I think I just chose to have a missing eye.
Yeah, so. We did. We were doing like critical damage and stuff in that one, which is something I introduced. So, here's another DM tip: whenever you're introducing a mechanic that is outside of like the regular rules, right? So we're going table rules, we're going extra rules, we're taking stuff away, we're putting stuff in. The first thing is just to establish with your players that any of the rules that you put in are for a purpose, and then explicitly state the purpose before the game starts. So, like with this Tuesday game that's coming up, any of the rules that I put in are specifically to, create the game space and make like exploration and discovery feel impactful, right? And so if at any point it doesn't and it feels like grindy, not fun, stuff like that, it's like, hey man, it's like, man, that kind of sucked. I didn't, I felt like I was focusing too much on that than the mystery and wonders that are to be discovered and explored. It's like, okay, so we'll pull out of that a little bit and we'll add to the mystery and wonder section. But so the rule was critical damage. So if you took, I think it was like half your hit points in one attack, or if you dropped down to 0, we would roll on a chart or something, and you would be kind of like have a permanent damage, or you'd be crippled, or you'd have some like crippling blow. Something that made combat seem dangerous was the idea. The idea was that that you were like in this particular game, combat was dangerous. So if you decided to fight, you couldn't just go in like a JRPG and be like, dun, 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 but rather you wanted to think about it, and you wanted to manipulate your abilities and everything that you had at your advantage to try to keep things in your advantage, or maybe not even fight at all. And this was because in the beginning we had we had we had an issue with and it was the beginning, first time player and everything, but somebody was just like killing everybody who like showed up. And as a DM, that sucks, because then you don't want to make people, right? You don't want to invest any energy into making the town, because if the characters or if the players are just going to kill them, it's like, why did I even spend these hours giving these people's voices and personalities? If you're just going to murder them.
Start making them a little bit stronger.
Yeah, right. So, well,
it's
and
like, this is a town of ex-adventurers.
Yeah, everybody here's a mercenary. I actually had that. So I was playing a game. It was Lost Mines of Phandelver, and I had a veteran player at the table. It was Barrett, actually, which you got to play with a little bit, Ethan. But you were, I don't know if you were there when they first entered the town or not, of Phandelver. Were you there?
No.
You weren't there when they first entered town. So you first enter the town, and the first thing that you come across is there's this trading post, like basically like a big barn, right? Like lumber. Think of like Lowe's, right? That's what they roll up to. They roll up to Lowe's, and they're delivering a wagon of goods that they were. And so they go in, and they're like, oh, we want some supplies. And so I'm describing the stuff in there, whatever. And we had a thief, and he's like, he reaches over and he tries to grab like a handful of these like caltrops, which are basically black, like jacks from the game, like jacks where you bounce the ball and you scoop up some jacks. So these triangle shaped, pyramid shaped spikes that you throw out, so that if somebody steps on them, it gets stuck into their foot. And you use them to keep like animals from entering places or exiting places, stuff like that. You throw them behind you like Speed Racer if you're on a horseback chase, throw them in a hallway. And so they're really cool now, and they're not in the 5th edition book. And I was like, that's stupid. These things are cool. But anyway, so he goes to grab a handful, and the old man, the guy who runs the place, sees it. And he's like, well, what are you doing over there with those? At first he said, he was like, yes, I've noticed I've seen it. Would you like some? I can weigh them out. And, he like pulls, gets a scale, like takes something off the scale that's sitting there at the counter. He's like, bring some over. I can weigh them up. This many copper per whatever weight. And they were like, they tried to bully this old man. Right. And he's like, oh, well, that's not right. You know what? I don't need your business. Here's the money that you are sent for, and what have we done here? And then there's these teenagers in town, and they decide to like try to get one of the teenagers to join the adventuring party through like, we're totally badasses, we kick ass or something. And the whole premise behind this is there are mercenaries in the town who are being jerks, and like pushing people around, and all of the young men have joined, and there's nobody to stop them. And so these teenagers are like, this old man's like trying to not let them be a part of this gang, basically, right? And so he's like, I'm not having any of this. You leave them alone. They're hardworking young, they're making their way the right way, and you will not come in here and stop them. And like, what are you going to do about it? And he says, and he grabs like a cudgel from back. He's like, well, whatever it takes. And they were like, Barrett says, he was like, oh, watch out. This guy, this old man has a +3 cudgel of, beheading. I know, I've seen this NPC. And in all reality, no, it was just an old man who wasn't gonna have it, and he had probably 2 hit points, maybe 3, and he was just a regular old man. But I've seen games like that where, you're giving it to the NPC, and the DM's like, but I put so much work into them, so now they're gonna kill you. They're way more badass than you, and you gotta balance that, right? You can't just have and not every shopkeeper. In fact, almost no shopkeepers are that badass. Almost none. And if they are, you can tell immediately upon meeting them that they are that kind of badass. Every shopkeeper can't be the veteran level 20 adventurer who's decided to, open a shop up for his golden years, because then that kind of takes it away a little bit, unless that is the rule, unless they're all like that. And then it's like a rule. Like every shopkeeper you meet used to be an adventurer. That's what you do after you get done adventuring.
The Monster Hunter world.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Then you say,
not strong enough to fight monsters anymore. You just sell equipment to the newer monster hunters.
And that's a cool world. But so yeah, I've seen that where like that shopkeeper's like super badass. And it's a balance, right? I typically like to lean into they're just regular old people. I like to keep people in town regular as hell, unless they are adventurers, and you'll know. For one, they'll have a backpack and a cloak. It's like you go to talk to the mayor and he's wearing a backpack. Just like the players are. Are you going somewhere? No, are you? No, I guess not. Like, you're all wearing backpacks, just full of shit all the time. You never set them down.
I don't know. Sometimes you just have to get your ass whipped by the 80-year-old shopkeep every once in a while, just to
let them know what's up. Keep the players in line.
So look, guys, stop killing the NPCs. Bunch of murder
Stop
hobos.
killing him. I was just gonna. I mean, he'd have just died, and I think that would have made him feel even worse. They'd have been like, "Wow!" They'd be like, "I oh man, I only rolled an 11." And like, that hits. That hits. He's an old man. And then, okay, roll damage, and it's like, wait. Okay, I roll. Oh man, I only rolled a 1, so that's 3 damage. I'm like, okay. He goes. He looks at you, and you kind of feel like a pulsing kind of in your blade of his heartbeat. And he says,
strong heart.
You leave them alone. And he falls backwards onto the ground. What have you done? Why?
Guards.
Who are you? Why did you do this? Why would you go? Why? Run! Right? He like yells to the teenagers, run! Don't let them get you too. Take whatever you want. Just leave the children alone. This, and he passes away. And I would even say, like, and then you notice he passes away. I wouldn't even say you killed him and he slowly passes away. And the players are like, uh-oh. I don't think we were supposed to do that.
Murderers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump to a new point here.
All right.
Let's see, that was 5.
Yeah, here, I can roll one. 3.
Night Fury says 2. What's it going to be?
2. Let's go with Night Fury's suggestion.
Night Fury.
We know she's smarter than both of us, so.
Point 2. World building. Explore the art of building immersive and detailed worlds for Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. Discuss techniques for creating compelling settings, memorable NPCs, and intriguing plot lines.
Nice. Well, the plot lines thing is definitely you. You're a plotline guy.
A plotline guy.
You're a plotline guy. This guy over here,
Yeah, I hear
he
that.
fuck with plot lines all day.
I got all the
I'm
plots.
telling you. He's got all the plots over here. Hey, listen, call him a gravedigger because he's got the plot.
Hey, I got a plot in my back pocket right here. You want
Hey,
it?
that's what I'm talking about.
You get a plot. You get a plot. Everybody gets plots. I'm freaking
Hey,
Oprah
you know
over
what?
here.
Hey, look, you sound like one of them. You sound like one of them PCs we were talking about. One of the rogues, right? He walks into a bar and he's like, "Boom, you get a plot. Boom, you get a plot."
Jacket of plots. That's a new magic item made by Night Fury.
Jacket of plots.
Jacket of plots.
Hey, listen, you just listen, if they don't, the prerequisite is that you don't like them, and then you automatically get bonus damage, and you give them a plot.
Roll a D100. On a 1 to 10, you can change the plot of the story.
Change the plot. Really, the characters change the plot all the time, which is really cool. Probably one of my favorite things about the game. I don't plan for shit past 1 or 2 sessions. That's it.
I mean, that's already a thing though, kind of, in it. Not necessarily a plot, but the divine intervention sort of deal.
Oh, what do you mean?
Could work or be flavored like that.
What's that?
The divine intervention.
What about it? What about divine intervention? Did somebody say something? I missed it.
No, I'm just saying that could work for the jacket of plots.
Oh yeah. Kind of like a divine intervention for a cleric. Change one thing about the world right now. One thing that's currently happening. And
this can't be happening. There's no way this is real.
There's no way this is happening.
Let's see if it is real. When I reach my back pocket, I got a few plots here. Let me roll. DM. What's going on? Is this true? Let's see. Oh, I rolled a 3. Psych, this isn't right. This is the truth.
Oh my, I love this guy. I love this divination wizard. It's this can't be happening right now. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my god, hold on. This can't be true. Wait a minute. Hey, everybody, chill out. Okay, hold on a second.
This was not foretold, all right?
This can't be fucking real right now. You gotta be kidding me. Hey, tell me you're messing with me. Look at me and tell me you're messing with me right now. Okay, that's what I thought. Hey, everybody, it's a prank. Everybody calm down. It's just a prank.
I saw the Madam Fortune Teller yesterday. She didn't say anything about this. This is lies, all right?
It's lies. I consulted the bones, okay? What, you calling the bones a liar? You calling the bones a liar? Oh, this guy over here. All right, he's got the cajones on this guy. All right, calling the bones a liar.
Check out the bones on this guy.
All right, so what was the question again?
Explore the art of building immersive and detailed worlds for D&D campaigns. Techniques for creating compelling settings, memorable NPCs, and intriguing plot lines.
Hey, well,
I got the plot lines. All right.
You got the plot lines. I think honestly that for real though, a memorable NPC could be something that pick a fun voice, right, for your guy, and then it maybe Christopher Walken kind of accent, but I'm not doing Christopher Walken perfect, and that's okay because this is this guy's voice all of a sudden, And so you come up to a shop. So as you enter into the shop, you walk. It's one of those places kind of off the side where the cobbled stairs go down 4 or 5 steps, and just it's below street level. And just standing here in this archway, it feels like you're separate from the rest of the bustle of the city. Like people walk by and don't even notice you. You open up this door, heavy and made of hewn wood, and it kind of slides across the floor where the hinges haven't been serviced properly. You get it open a few feet and it's dark. Cages hang from the ceiling. It's cluttered in here, like a curio shop, like one of those like one of those what are they called? Where you buy junk, basically.
Thrift?
Like a thrift shop or a secondhand store, but that feels more like somebody's living room than it does an actual shop space. Cut things everywhere. And then sitting behind the counter, you see this dwarf, beard grizzled and patchy, tied into like a really poorly done braid. It's it's not perfect, like it's missing a couple times. He has like one smoky eye and those crow's feet that crawl all the way back to his ears almost, in which you could be able to tell if it wasn't for the fact that the hair on the side of his head almost grows into his eyebrows. He's got this cloak on, and he's sitting in front of a crystal ball, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing here? All right, you weren't supposed to be here till tomorrow." As he swirls his hands around, and you see a mist in it. "Well, go ahead and sit down, all right? I'm here to tell you a fortune. The name's Dindo, all right? Remember that." And all of a sudden, this guy, forever, Dindo the fortune teller, just because you gave him a fun voice. What do you think?
Yeah. That matches up pretty perfect.
What would be like, so with world building and just to make a memorable character, what would be a trick that you think you would use? Or you like to use, rather?
Well, I guess I don't really have tricks, but I think, it just depends on, maybe quirks or, what makes that character unique, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like the most talked about character that I've had would be probably Scribbles, I guess.
Oh yeah, Scribbles is great. He didn't say anything,
But he didn't say
which
anything,
was pretty
right?
interesting. Which is really interesting about him. Yeah.
But he's just kind of a cool person.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to say anything. He's just chilling in a cool magical library. It was probably the scene that was more important than the character itself, but yeah, I don't know. I think what really helps with cool characters is maybe how the characters react. I feel like the best characters are the ones where the PCs decide to get involved with.
They have time, right?
Yeah.
They have time to interact. You give them that time to interact with them and have that back and forth.
Right. So that it's like whenever I make a character, I don't like go into depth in my mind like, oh, this person's gonna be this and this, and they can do this that makes them really special. It's just more like, all right, this is the character I'm gonna have that's gonna serve this purpose, and that's that. Right? I don't like think of anything else.
Well,
but it's more like the interaction between the players and yourself that brings about these special things. And I think that has to do with like improv as well, right? Like doing things on the fly.
So the players really, like a story is told from the player's perspective,
right?
Like, or from the character's perspective. So if you look up a storytelling, it says a story is told. You have narration, but then you have a story is told through the thoughts, feelings, and dialogue of the characters, right? That is, or thoughts, feelings, and actions. Sorry, thoughts, feelings, and actions of the characters. So that's your PCs, right? So always, giving space for the characters to have, to tell what the characters are thinking and what they're feeling, as well as well as their actions. That's the easy one. So yeah, I think you want to make a character, a PC or an NPC kind of come to life. You have to let the players, interact with them.
Right.
That's Scribbles did feel pretty cool based off of that.
La 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 la. Intriguing plot lines.
That's all you, man.
Plots for days. Right.
Plots for days. Fucking plots, baby. I'll tell you what I do. Is I'll have a simple idea and then let the characters play with it. But I'll have a concept of what is happening. And then as they interact with the world, I'll take that and paste it onto the things they're interacting with. So I had a plot line of in the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, where the NPCs they wanted to go they wanted to go into a cave or into a dungeon, right? So they find the dungeon, and as they're going through the dungeon, there's a door that leads to an even bigger space. And the entire time they're searching, they're finding these like carvings that are telling the story of this big bad dragon and why they're no longer here, right? The dragon's name was Sharuth, and they apparently they were so evil that a bunch of good dragons got together and they couldn't kill him, but they buried him underneath the ocean that they were, and the sheer hatred of Sharuth birthed the islands that they were currently on, was the story. And as they went through and they were kind of discovering the stuff, I just started making up the story about how bad this dude was and what kind of bad he was and who the good guys were that dealt with him. And they were more invested in kind of like the dungeon was built as a testament to Sharuth, right? So these were followers of his word. So that's what I started to dive into. What would this space be used for? For acolytes, or let's say it was the Church of Truth. What's this room for? And so that's what each, as they got farther and farther, and they finally made it to this one room that was a testament to the the validation of Sharuth. So it had plastered everywhere was the things he had conquered and the nations that he had conquered and the people that had bowed down to him. Like that was on everything. It was like the story of all the conquests and all of the things that went his way. And it was set up to be like people having professed to them. So there was like a place where somebody would stand and talk about how great this dude is, and the way that the room echoed when you were in the spot. Because of course it would do that, right? But I didn't tell them that at first. I just described the room and they slowly uncovered what it would be for, right? It looked grandiose. It looked more magical than what it really was. It was supposed to, it was supposed to lend validity to this guy's, to what he was professing, because he was gone, but somebody was using it as a platform for their own thing, like, oh, come follow me and the power, because I have the power of Sharuth and you can too, kind of thing. And so that was the whole room design. And I just borrowed a map from online and I put it on there, and I was like, oh, this is cool, yeah. And that's how I let I let the story tell itself, kind of, you know. Started with something simple. You know, they have this dragon god that people want to discover, and what would this temple be? It would be for the followers built it, and he's been gone for a while, and kind of as we progressed down the line, and I had time to think about it, because you know, your players are like standing in front of a 10-foot pit and they're like, how do we get across, for like 45 minutes? So I'm just sitting here like, huh, what? You know, I've got all this time to think. Yeah. While in my head, I've got like, it's a DC 12 jump check. And they're like, wait a minute, don't go yet. He might be tricking, you know, like whatever the PCs are doing as they're fucking with this pit full of snakes, throwing fireballs at it and stuff, just having a good time. Hey, DM, how much damage do I do? I'm like, I was like, oh, how much damage? 6 damage? Oh, yeah, big thing of snakes. And I describe it. And then, but are they all gone? I was like, oh, no, there's definitely more snakes in there. And they're like, oh, no, guys, what do we do? And they talk about it some more. It was like 45 minutes. I think it was a whole session of time.
Jump down there, like, really fast. And you guys just pull me up.
Yeah. Yeah. So how much rope do I have? Oh, do we have enough to go around them and then get them in there? And they're like having a blast with this pit of snakes that took me 30 seconds to create, including thinking of it and then putting it on the map. And with all that downtime, I was like, what else would these followers be doing in here? You know, and then I would write down like the story of a tablet, that I'd write down a couple sentences, and then when I would tell it to them, I was in a whole different space. You know, it'd be the next week or 2 weeks later, and they would be more or less interested in certain parts of it, and they would tell me about what the other tablets had said, or what, you know, and I'd be like, okay, so this is what they're interested in more so, and that would inspire me to just kind of make stuff up a little bit on the fly, and it was, yeah, so it just kind of naturally evolves, for me anyway. So that's how my like plot lines go. I get like a loose plot thread of like, well, here's the dungeon, you walk through this door, you'll find this temple, and then in this room's a pit of snakes, in this room's like some tablets that have some story on them, and in this room there's some treasure. I'll roll on the table later to find out, or maybe I'll make something up. Maybe I'll get inspired and make up something cool. And I just leave it that simple and fill it in with what the vibe at the table at the time.
Yeah, I think for mine it was just, I had like the overarching story, I guess, of what, and I don't even know if I really call it the overarching story, but more or less just like who the big bad is, you know, what happens, or what are like the potential things they do, but you know, I can create hooks and stuff to try to entice players to go places. But as far as like plot lines and plot twists and things like that, a little more organic. You know, I have everybody's backstories, and how you guys were playing through my first campaign.
So
you know, you guys were just going like, you guys were just going where you needed to, or I feel like after the ritual, you know, you guys were kind of like trying to get out of the storm. The way I was just playing the game, I was just like waiting for you guys to go somewhere, and whatever direction or wherever you decided to go, I was just like, all right, well, next week I'm gonna put something there for them to run into, right? Something to, like, something in the world, or some sort of encounter.
So with those encounters too, it's like, did you do like, okay, so, well, they've encountered the wilderness, and now we want them to encounter something in town, and now they should fight a little, or like, how did you know, like, how did you vibe on those?
So I guess it just depends on like what the previous sort of session was. I didn't want to just like have you guys like fight just all the time. I wanted there to be different kind of encounters throughout, because when we had our session 0, everybody stated that they'd like different aspects of the game other than just combat. So I tried to incorporate other things the best I could, but regarding plot lines and things like that, kind of just it's kind of like a waiting game, I feel like, as the DM, for me anyways, because like you said earlier, the characters really tell the stories. The DM isn't the storyteller. We can like create like plots and plot twists and things like that, but as far as like generating the actual story, that's more of the player's involvement than anything, because they choose what happens next. They choose
They're in
what
charge, man.
I mean, it's just like you're like, all right, what are they gonna do? How am I gonna handle it?
Gonna do next? Yeah. Who are these guys gonna kill next? That's like, I'm just waiting. Who are they gonna just attack next? I have no idea.
But yeah, it's just a waiting game, and sometimes you get those really cool opportunities where you're like, all right, here, this is it. This is where something happens. They've given me this opportunity. It's funny too, because I feel like it's in the opposite for me, as whenever I'm actually playing, is that I'm waiting for the DM to give me an opportunity to do something like cool or meaningful for my character, and then as the DM, I'm waiting for an opportunity for something cool and meaningful that I can provide for the characters.
So when as a player, you said you're waiting for like an opportunity. So what do some of those opportunities look like that you feel like you could pick up on? Like this is your moment or whatever.
I guess that would be more specific to how I built my character, or what I chose for my character that makes them special, or like picking say a certain trade skill or something. Maybe you're like a poisoner or like an assassin type, and you're waiting for some moment to use your poison in a cool way, or more specifically, something that I had intended for your game in the sync before this whole new thing started. I was gonna play.
I was gonna run something in the sync. Yeah. Oh. God, he needs to come back.
I can't remember specifically what subclass, but I think it's the thief actually. You can use object interaction as a bonus action. So my whole goal was just to try to disarm people and pick up their weapons.
Oh, nice.
So they have to fight you unarmed.
Yeah. Dude, there's this great battle master feat that allows you to disarming attack.
Right. But you don't have to have that though. Like it's a special attack action that you can take as well.
Which I would like everybody to know, in my games, in everything's a special attack action in that regard. Like if you're trying to do something cool like that, there doesn't need to be a mechanic for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes I find that, the rule of cool, man. Like, of course you can try to do that. Now, sometimes the mechanics are a little bit more lenient than I am, and in that case, I'm like, oh man, shit, my bad. We'll do that next time. I didn't realize I was being a little bit tougher on you than what is written. But then other times I find that I'm more lenient than the mechanic, and I'm like, okay, we'll just do you want to go do it that way, or we could just keep doing it the way that I thought, as long as it's not getting out of hand, I think we're fine, yeah. So I've had it both ways, and I've had players be like, come on, man, like you didn't even read the rule. I'm like, yeah, because there's so many of them, and you read this specific rule for your specific character to do this one specific thing. And if they know it, then I'll let them tell me. But if they don't know it, then we make it up at the table, right?
But so the part that the moment I'm waiting for is more of the comedic portion, which is whenever I would be successful to disarm them, and I imagine the weapon drops on the ground, and in like a cartoon or something, where the camera shows both of the characters and they're just standing there staring at each other because the weapon fell, and they both look down. The camera pans down to the weapon on the ground, and then as the camera pans back up to their bodies, you see the other person looking down at the ground where the sword or the weapon would be, and then you just see the weapon in Niall's hands waiting because he's already picked it up.
Yeah.
Like it was so fast and he didn't know, and he's like scratching his head with the weapon in his hand. Oh, did you need this?
Well, looks like I'm the knight now. Come get you some. All right. And then like he's holding it wrong, or something. Like, how do you use this again?
But yeah, no, I would just hold it just so, because it's funny how unarmed fighting works. It's like completely awful.
Yeah.
If
you suck at it
if you don't have
unless
unarmed
you
fighting
don't.
or something.
Yeah, you absolutely suck at it unless you don't.
So what is it, like a maximum of 6 damage or something like that? So it's like your strength mod, like 1 plus your strength mod.
1 plus your strength mod to a minimum of 1. But see, I don't like that to a minimum of 1 shit. I think that to a minimum of 0, to a minimum of subdual damage, because like even if an old man hits you, right, or a child like hits you as hard as they can, you're not taking 1 point of damage. You're like, ow, like stop it. You like push a child away. So like this old man hits you, he's got a 6 strength, so it's -3. He does 0 damage to you. So it wouldn't even be subdual damage, which is non-lethal damage. It wouldn't even be non-lethal damage. It'd just be none. It just doesn't hurt you. So ow, shit, that was my eye. You better cut it out.
Or I'll cut yours out.
Yeah, I'll cut yours out. I'll do it, old man. And I won't like it, but I'll do it. I lied. I only like it a little bit.
But no, that's pretty much it though. I just wait for opportunities because I do, and this is the reason why, I tend to lean or be like the devil's advocate, so to speak, when it comes to like, not being so like free and open about doing specific things, or like letting other like classes or things that don't have access to certain things like that, because I choose those specific things intentionally, so I can create these moments. Not because I'm trying to limit somebody else or keep other people from doing the things that I'm doing. But,
try to lift up the person who chose it.
But yeah, I'm trying to highlight those specific things that I chose for my character, and that's just
so you're trying to highlight the specific abilities,
right?
Like a disarming attack, or like being able to pick something up as a free object interaction.
Yeah.
And
that's why cool. It always sounds like I'm being the negative Nancy, which maybe I am, or the negative Nelson. However,
no, you have a,
but
you have your reason for it.
Yeah, maybe I'm too focused on different things, but yeah, that's how I tend to look at it. Is I'm trying to highlight the choices that either myself or the players made.
I always go to like, let's say somebody wants to do a disarming thing and and all this, right? And they want to do what you just did. That's epic as hell, right? That's an epic thing. We'll run it. But let's say now in the game we have a character who's set up to do that, right? And this is what's important about the telling your DM, kind of, if you have plans or whatever, be like, hey, by the way, I have this plan in my head that I'm gonna build this character. They're gonna disarm, make them drop, pick it up. I'm like, that's cool. So before we get to that level, we're one encounter away, and all of a sudden, a different player has no idea, and they're like, I want to disarm this person, have them drop it, pick it up, and now I have the magic sword, and that's cool. I've actually designed a character like that, by the way, Ethan, who's a battle master to do that exact thing, and I, so I would think if somebody went to do that, I'd be like, yes, I've designed a character, and finally somebody's doing it. I'd get excited. But if I knew that you had a character, right, in one level that's their whole shtick, I wouldn't make it as easy. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't make it look as easy. I wouldn't, I would be like, oh, hold on a second, we're about to steal all the thunder, right? We're about to steal this person's thunder. But if there's nothing like that in the horizon, then it's just a really cool battle moment. It's like a really cool moment that happens, and it's not like a whole idea for a build.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. If with like either like newer players or like new players to the table, I guess, not necessarily like new skill level players, but that would be also something why, I mean, I might potentially bring that up, but I also like the idea of like be trying to surprise you or another DM as well.
Surprise the DM with it. But if then what happens
Not
if
that I'm like
somebody
trying
steals your
to like,
thunder?
not that I'm like trying to like, my goal isn't to like take down or just only make gotcha moments sort of like that, but that's sort of
You
like
those, though.
that's sort of like, oh shit, that just happened. Like, well, just like when Chad was able to like chain stun the dragon with stunning strike. I'm like, well,
what the hell?
He rolled a 2 on his con save. What do you guys want to do?
Beat the hell out of this thing.
I was like, man, I was not expecting that.
No, like that was we threw a net on the dragon and pushed it over, and then I sent you a bunch of stuff about dragons in the background.
Double
and I had
grapple, double restrain. Like you guys had like 3 different ropes on it.
Yeah. We were like, and then I sent you a bunch of stuff about like how giants will take young dragons, and by dominating them like that, the dragons will like follow them for a little bit or whatever, like look up to them. I was like, this would be cool, and you were just like, fuck, I guess. I sent you a bunch of shit about it. I think you were just like, man, he really wants.
Like you guys, I think you guys had already like restrained it with a rope, and then somebody else wanted to restrain it even further. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we like,
according to rules, like you can't like
what do you do?
Double restrain, but I'm just like, it makes sense, I guess, right? I mean, if something's tied down and it can't defend itself to not be tied up even further, I mean, how can I say no to that?
What are you gonna do?
It's like,
right? What are you gonna do?
I shackle its legs together.
Sorry, it's already shackled. It's that's as much rope as you can get on it. No. There's more.
We rolled this thing up into a hemp cocoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's basically what happened. It's like, come on, guys, this isn't funny.
And it was right after I'd just been telling you, it's like I have never fought a dragon. As much as I've played this game, I've never fought a dragon. And so it was like the next session, you put a dragon in the game, and instead of killing it, we just
took it prisoner.
Yeah, we took it prisoner. Which is the second time we did that, because like we fought the dragon in the very first episode of that game, and it was like
a wormling.
It was like a wormling or something, and I freed it.
Yeah, you guys freed it.
I freed it. I was like, no, be freed. And then this one, we like restrained. We just did the exact opposite with this one. So funny. Was that the dragon that we had, the wormling?
Yeah.
Was that was the one that it returned and we restrained it this time?
No.
Oh, it wasn't the same one.
No, I thought you were gonna say that was the one that was like flying over. That was the plague changed one for sure.
Oh, that's the plague changed one, the one that like we freed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We should have killed it, I guess.
Yeah, I think I had it in my mind that the metallic ones were evil, I guess. Or maybe I just
Mm.
didn't have
Okay, yeah.
anything in mind.
So technically, the rules is written. That's opposite.
Yeah. Rules is written according to D&D lore, but
Uh-huh.
we don't use D&D
Yeah.
lore technically. Or
I mean, we
we
know,
do
it just
to help.
depends.
Yeah.
So what I always do, so that's what's cool about this game, about the Aether Chronicle that I'm running with XLG, right? Is it's a turn, or it's not a turn based, it is like a roguelite version, right? Jump in, jump out. And because of that, I was like, the world is not, I don't have a bunch of lore for this world. It's largely unexplored, hex-based map, and you start out in one hex and you explore and come back to the first hex, which is your base of operations. It's town. You leave town, explore, come back. And all of the characters have been pulled from various worlds and timelines and all different parts of like fantasy genre of like like this medieval fantasy. You just get sucked out of all these different places and from all different worlds, boom, and you find yourself in this place kind of shipwrecked and marooned on an island, and you that's unexplored, and you have to and go out and just explore it and adventure. And because of that, I was like, there are going to be people who come into this world and they're going to be like, so I want to be a cleric of Paylor, classic Wizards of the Coast god, right? Classic, like, just Neverwinter god, Dungeons and Dragons god, right? And because they know Paylor, well, cool, do it. And then there's going to be somebody who comes in and they have a god, or they have like some lore for a character or a world that they played in. And that's their whole idea. Like, that character comes from this whole world that they played in, and they don't know any other lore. Cool. That character comes from that world and is now here. And it all basically serves the same purpose. But I just I kept the lore simple with that, in that regard. It's like, whatever you want. And so, like, in this world, are there dragons? Who knows? And when you do find them, are the metallic ones evil? Who knows? Like, there's no way to tell until you get there. So, like, Ethan, your character may come in from Numestria and be like, oh shit, it's a gold dragon, the most evil of all dragons, and somebody else is like, no, are you kidding me? There's a gold dragon who runs the frickin' the church of just diplomacy, and is like, actually, is the president of a perfect utopia, and in the world that I'm from. And then you were like, really? And then everybody looks at this dragon and has like, what's your deal, man? Where do you sit? And that's kind of the idea. It's like, it's cool to have those backstories from all over the place to make this space different. And you don't know, you kind of have to discover it by engaging with it, right?
Yeah. Because more than likely you will have players that are also like diehard, set in stone, Forgotten Realms. Like,
Oh yeah.
has to be this way. This is Dungeons and Dragons for me.
And that's fine.
That works perfect for them.
Yeah. Well,
as long as they don't mind everybody else doing it the way they want to as well, of course. So.
Well, the thing is yeah, like, and so you set up the premise that world does exist, and that is the world your character is from, but the world you're in now is a different one,
Yeah.
And so that's where you get to get a little excited. It's like, what is this? I remember one time I described goblins to this guy, right? I described a goblin. I didn't tell him they were goblins. I just described them, and he was like, everybody stay back. I don't know what like they're level 2 characters or something. And he's like, everybody be careful. And he's like, Justin, what are these? And I'm like, I told you. Black eyes, solid, kind of set on the sides of their head. In pallid lips that curl back over, rows of needle-like teeth. Amphibious, almost like a newt. The way that their skin glistens, and large bulbous pads on the end of their fingers, holding bone blades wrapped in twine with tar pitch, keeping them together. And they're like, but what are they? I was like, I told you what they are. And like, he was so mad that I just wouldn't say it's a kobold or it's a goblin or it's a whatever. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you. I told you what it is. Your character's never seen this creature before. He's like, but I would have totally solved that. And like he just needed to know it was a goblin. He needed to know its AC and its relative hit point total and the amount of damage that it could possibly do to him before he engaged with it. He needed to know so bad. In fact, he was mad that I didn't tell him. I'm like,
Yeah, I would be like, I don't know. It's homebrew.
It's homebrew, yeah. You've never seen anything like it before. But
It's a hobgoblin koblinoid.
It's a koblinoid, yes. I think that what it is people like to. You've spent all this time reading about it. Like let's say you've read a bunch of the lore. You like that lore to be pertinent because you spent all this time reading it. And so you like it to mean something. And I don't want to discount or take that away. What I like to do is whenever people come across something like that, if they are one of those people who read up the lore and get excited about it, I like to have them go ahead and pitch and rant about it or whatever. Go ahead and roll me a history check. Ooh, tell us what you know. And then I'm like, something's a little bit off about this though. It's not exactly like you thought. Oh shit, what do you mean? And so they get to profess their knowledge. They get to be like, yes, I do know all this stuff. I was like, something's off. This one's different, which I think they like better. That they notice that it's different than what is typical. It's like a little balancing act that I had to do to let people feel good about knowing a bunch of stuff, and then but still like be in the moment of like you're fighting 6 goblins, but I want to describe them a little different. I want to give them a little bit of I thought these guys would be cool if they could climb up walls. That would be scary, right?
I can't exactly tell you what talking point we're on or where we came from.
I have no idea. 2 maybe?
Let's see, we got about 25 minutes left. We can either jump to a new point, or we can do random RP scenario.
Ooh, I like random RP scenario.
Okay.
Can we take like just 1 minute so I can
One?
Yeah, about a minute. So I use the bathroom. If we want that on stream.
Do we want a bathroom on stream? Not in particular.
Yeah, hold on a second. Have we met the goal? Have we met the sub goal for that yet? Sorry, this is the wrong stream, guys. This is not that kind of stream. Yeah, we cool with me taking a minute?
I don't think there's an option. I will create a prompt real quick.
Baby, I'm back. You can blame it all on me.
Fine. We are currently
That is unbearable.
generating, and I will put it on Google Docs as soon as it's done. Hopefully it's not writing out a whole play.
All right.
Yeah, I guess it was perfect time. It was an ad came up.
Nice. Nice. Latest follower, Spasmatics. What's up, Spaz?
All right. It's going to post at the bottom of our talking points.
All right, cool.
Oops.
Which I totally have open.
Yeah, I figured you would, but
I actually do. I actually do have them open. I see you down. I see you right there. See, here's me. Character. Oh, we're just gonna do like a whole run a scene.
Heck yeah. I'll go ahead and read the plot. You want to be A or B?
I want to read the plot. You go ahead.
Well, I think I accidentally
I'll be there's too much.
Well, I copied too much. So hold on. Certainly, here's an
RP dialogue between two people. Cool. All right.
All right, you want to be character A or character B? I have no idea what this is.
Character. I'll be character A.
All right, go for it.
Okay. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, okay. Did we tell it? All right. So what we're doing here, apparently, ChatGPT has generated a dialogue between two characters, and we're just gonna. It's a random dialogue. Don't know how it's gonna go.
Don't know the theme, the plot, the story.
None of it. None of it. And we're just gonna do the do, y'all. We're just gonna do the do. All right, let me pull up. All right, there we go. Let me here. I want to pull up your face over here. All right. Character A sits at a dimly lit tavern table, nursing a mug of ale. What brings you to this corner of the realm, my friend? You seem like you've got a story to tell.
Ah, my friend, you have no idea. I've been on the wildest adventure of my life. Picture this. An ancient temple hidden in the depths of the jungle, guarded by ferocious beasts and booby traps at every turn.
Raises an eyebrow, which I can't do. In an ancient temple, you say? Where's there any treasure to be found? Or were you simply searching for knowledge?
Oh, there was plenty of treasures, my friend. The temple was said to house a priceless artifact, the Ruby of Everlasting Flame. Legends claim it possesses the power to ignite even the coldest of hearts, such as your own.
This sounds extraordinary. But, Britta, how did you manage to navigate through the treacherous jungle and survive the Guardians?
It wasn't easy, I'll admit. But my agility and wit helped me dodge the traps. And a little...
Your agility, you say?
And a little persuasion with the Guardians kept him at bay. As for the jungle, well, let's just say I've become quite adept at swinging from vines and tracking hidden paths.
Laughs heartily. Your skills never cease to amaze me, my friend. So, did you manage to lay your hands on the coveted ruby? Or did something unexpected occur?
As I gaze into the distance, a hint of nostalgia strikes my eyes. Ah,
What does that look
the
like? What's that
the
look like?
ruby. I did
What's
find
your
it,
okay?
but it came with a price. The temple's ancient curse awakened, and I had to make a choice. Keep the ruby and suffer the consequences, or relinquish it for the greater good. I chose to let it go. Therefore, for there are some powers best left untouched.
Sometimes the greatest treasures aren't material possessions, but the lessons we've learned along the way. Your journey sounds like a true test of character. You've certainly seen more than most.
Indeed, my friend. Life is a grand adventure, and we must seize every opportunity that comes our way. Who knows what awaits us in the next chapter of our tales?
So, ah, so sometimes you're telling me these stories. Do you ever feel like an NPC? You know, just like we're in the background of somebody else's tale. Maybe those people over there fighting each other on top of the bar tables.
I feel that way all the time.
I'm just waiting for them to ask me for something because I need something from the woods, but I don't want to get it myself and maybe give them, I don't know, some gold or something.
Gold is my usual reward, but sometimes feeling a little bit frisky. Give them a little magic item or two,
Oh, you just carry those
maybe some
around on you?
information.
I have magic items that I just keep on me for no reason, maybe just to give away.
Let's say I just know a guy.
Hmm. Ah, it's just one guy, right? Because that's the only
Just
guy I know. Just
one.
one guy. Just the one guy. Yeah, I tell. I'm waiting to tell people about so that they can go talk to
Hmm.
him. Yeah.
I get
Same
magic
here.
items for nothing.
Same here.
Next to nothing.
Oh, that was fun. These are some fun characters.
I can tell Night Fury probably really loved the literature aspect there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised I haven't seen like a puke emoji or anything yet.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know. Do we have one?
Truly a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
Truly.
Truly a truly a masterpiece. Yeah. Mm. Oh man. Well, is there any more that you'd like to talk to before or talk about before we end our point of inspiration for the night?
Um, I feel like if we went into another one, it would probably not be a minimum of 15 minutes. So possibly maybe we can address the event that's going on next Wednesday, and
Yeah,
maybe you can give us a little introduction about what it's about, and
which I've already kind of gotten into
yeah,
as well a little bit. Everybody, we have partnered with I think partner's the right word, with XLG, which is a gaming community in Discord, uh, open to friendly uh, gamers who are just looking to, have a space where they can share games with each other. Um, and the Zero, who is the creator of XLG, and this is really his passion project. Talking with him was probably the whole reason that he reached somebody reached out to us about a program that he does and about his group, and they were, are you interested? I'm like, well, I'm interested, but what are they really about? And whenever I got to talking with these guys, man, like they are just humble and you know just happy to support and to join in gaming and to really create community. And this is like immediately you'll feel like family, like coming into this space. They they not only want you to participate, but they want you to feel like you are impacting the community. And they're supportive, and that's what really I was like, man, we absolutely have to um, like work with these guys. And so Zero was really wanting a tabletop space, and that's what we do, man. We've been doing it for years now. So we're going to be running a game. I'll be running a game to start out with, but it's set up for multiple DMs and multiple players. Um, in we're starting out next Wednesday, right? So the day after Diablo 4 drops. So get a couple hours of sleep after your 24-hour marathon of D4, and then come in and watch some D&D, or potentially play. And it is a drop-in, drop-out system. So you sign up to play, and multiple players coming in each week to help tell the stories that happen in Aether Chronicle is the name of the world. It's a unexplored island where characters from all across different universes and worlds, and your classic Wizards of the Coast world that you can read everything about, to a homebrew world that's very specific and dear to you. These characters all come into this one place, and they are kind of stranded, a Gilligan's Island or Swiss Family Robinson situation. And it's a game about exploration and character development. So you pick a character, you come in, you play. We have a bunch of pre-made characters for first-time players, or for people returning, or people who don't have time to like build a character. You're just like, hey, you sign up to play, and you're not able to build a character beforehand. That's fine. We have a character ready to go. And you start out in the town, which is a town that has been halfway pulled through the Aether, all these portals from all over the place, pulling different characters and places into this world. And you got this little town, and you start out there with all the other characters in the very beginning of the session, and you adventure out into the wilderness and to discover the mysteries and wonders of this world. And at the end of the session, you return back to town. And that way, if at the beginning of the next session you're not able to make it, or maybe the rotation's different, we got 12 people signed up, so we'll rotate people in and out. Your character stays in town, these other characters go out. They can go back into the dungeon that you were just in last episode, or they can go out and find a new mystery to discover in their own. And it's the world is vast and unexplored and mysterious, and it's all it's a wilderness as far as everybody knows. And all of the things that are there to be discovered are based off of the interests of the players. If you decide that you are really into dungeon delving, you'll probably find a lot of dungeons the more you search. If you find out you're really into, finding out a specific storyline of some kind of statue that you found, and you guys are very keyed in on figuring out what this statue means, and then that's what we're gonna, the more you search into that, that's what's in this sandbox world. It's completely sandboxed and completely driven by the player's actions.
Yep. So if you're playing and you guys run into something and you're like, hey, I want to know more about this, let us know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we can make that for you. Also, if you're wanting to play, or if you're interested in playing, I know sometimes being a new player or unfamiliar can be kind of intimidating, but we will set up an environment I'll say that we have a lot of experience playing with new players because it seems like every game we typically have new players with us. So
And that's
we're
that's a
pretty good
great
at it by
thing.
now.
I
You know,
love that.
we're good at teaching people how to play. We'll make it really seamless and smooth and painless.
Yeah,
So if
and,
you want
and
to play, just
fun.
get in and try.
We'll make it, and seamless, smooth, and painless are secondary to fun.
Right.
It will be fun, and that's the whole point of this, by the way. For people who, if it's the first time you played, or if you've maybe played a game before and it didn't go the way you thought, the whole point of this is to have fun. So we're gonna have fun. You can't do it
You
wrong.
just bring yourself. That's all
Yeah,
you got to
and
do.
don't. Yep, and all the characters, all the new characters start out at level 1, so you don't have to worry about being like learning something big, and maybe the other characters are a little bit higher level. Don't worry about it.
What are these 20 spells that I have?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to
Please
start
help
out
me.
at, yeah. And if you are a level 1 character and you're worried about catching up, you catch up fast. 1 or 2 sessions, you'll be so close to the other players. But also the world it's not set out like on rails where, okay, so here's this dungeon for level 1 characters, and at the end of it you'll be level 2. It's not like that. You might find something that is beyond the power of the level of the characters you're currently playing. You might stumble across a full adult dragon and you're only level 1. Don't fight it, or do. If you die, there's a different character waiting back in town. It's fine. But we won't kill anybody without warning you. There'll definitely be some warning shots. But it's also, the world is mysterious and it's not pre-planned to be specifically for it. It's based on what you're looking for, and it's a mysterious, wonderful world where it's just, who knows what we're gonna find. Not me, and I'm running it. Not
If
yet,
you do want to
anyway.
play, PM one of us or let us know so that way we can
Yeah,
put you down on a list. Kind of just go by first come, first
yeah.
serve. So
Reach out in the XLG Discord, right? So go ahead and that's where you can find this game. It is in the XLG Discord in their TTRPG section. Go down there, reach out to either Spio or myself, right? In there, DM us, and we will get you on the list. We'll find we'll get your we'll help you pick your character and all that. Link is there. Nice. Thank you, Mortal Woes. And if you are looking for other styles of games, um, we have on our Mortal Woes Discord server, we also have more long form games that we play there. And we're always looking for people to come and tell stories with us, um, which we're really excited about. Like, I'm really excited about the Aether Chronicle. Like, I'm so excited to have people come in, come out, like, tell this story of just like, I don't know what's going on in this world. I don't know what this world is like yet. Only that as you discover it, it gets a little bit bigger each time that you reach out into the world and come back. It's going to be very fun. The mysteries and the wonders that people are interested in and invested in discovering is is so fun to me, you know.
I guess the last bit I'd also like to say too is that we are having our session 0 for the continuation of, well, not the continuation, but the start of Evan's or Etma's
That's
Yensu campaign. So
gonna be exciting.
stay tuned more for that. I believe we still have planned to do Saturday sessions with that. So
Hmm.
more to
Are
come.
we doing? Are we doing our so potentially tomorrow?
Yeah, our session 0 will be tomorrow. I don't know if
Okay,
we're
okay.
streaming that or not, but
It's probably gonna be it's gonna be a freaking worse. The herding cats are gonna be worse than right now. But it will be
so
fun.
yeah, maybe we can get like a creation stream or something
Oh
this
yeah,
weekend,
that'll
or maybe Sunday. I'll try to do
that'll be
something.
fun. Oh yeah, where the Aether Chronicle game is kind of people coming in, you playing in a world like that you're slowly discovering, and there's been other parties and other people grouped up kind of discovering things, and you read about this dungeon they went to, but there was a door they didn't open, and you think, hey guys, let's go try to open that door, or whatever it is. Oh, they couldn't beat this monster. I think we're strong enough now. Let's go back there and fight the what Yuan-Su is going to be is the opposite of that, like a deep storytelling, long format. We're talking 200 episodes, I think. 200 sessions is what he was hoping for.
I don't know.
At least.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be that's so exciting.
Should be juicy.
Oh, it's going to be juicy, guys. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and then in Spio, I mean, you haven't even planning your next project.
Yeah, let's just say been a little bit busy doing a different project.
Oh, so. Yeah. And what's cool about the Aether Chronicle is I'm gonna be running the game verbally, and Spio is gonna be running the game mechanically with the VTT and with and so it's going to be like. And the map creation and all of that, like the stuff that you get presented to you, the soundscaping, the audioscaping, and it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be a fun little 2DM experience that you're gonna get to play in.
Sort of co-producing, if you will.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very, very good. It's gonna be so fun.
Well, I think that's it. Thanks for joining, everybody. We will see you Wednesday, if not sooner.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Adios.